Hey, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, I can't refuse it. I didn't seek it, I didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account. If I abuse it, just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in. I want to welcome you to the Jolly Good News Report, a weekly program designed to help you to do more, to be more, to achieve more, to have some good news that will inspire you, that will encourage you, that will uplift you, that will empower you to live your best life. To live your best life and to live it with joy and happiness and gusto. How many are ready? So I want you to do me a favor. You know, have you ever had a time when there was a television show on or something came upon you that you wish you had said, oh, I wish I had recorded that. I wish I had shared that. I wish I had told people about that. Or there was a picture that said, I wish I'd captured that. Have you ever had that? Well, this is one of those shows. I want you to do something. Because right now, this is going to be a different show. Right now, I want you to start a watch party. This is not my regular Jolly Good News Report. This is going to be a different one to talk about how your faith can give you life. How your faith can give you life. And everybody you know needs this show. I'm about to share a personal testimony about something that will bless you, bless your family, bless your friends. So start a watch party. Trust me, and do it right now. Second, like it, share it, and say to people everywhere in your network, all your social media, hey, this one you want to jump on. Jump on this show with Dr. Willie Jolley, because it's going to talk about how your faith can save your life and give you life. All right, so let's get going. First of all, for those who join me every week on this show, you know I started it back in March because I was tired of turning on the television and all I got was bad news. Bad news, sad news, depressing news, despondent news. All I got was bad news. And I said, I know that's not good for you. I need some good news. That's good for my spirit. See, I read a proverb every day. And I read a proverb, the 15th proverb said that good news is good for your bones. And so I want to make sure you get some good news that's good for your bones and for your spirit. And so I started this Jolly Good News Report. The Jolly Good News Report, where you're going to get nothing but good news in this one. And I got good news for you today. So I want to encourage you again, start a watch party. Start a watch party and get ready for some good news. I want to start with the story and then what I did. I actually thought, and I believed, and actually got a feeling that I got to know more, that I actually had coronavirus. I actually believed that, but I never spoke it. And that's going to be one of the big points of interest that you're going to learn about today. So here's what happened. About 3 weeks ago, is that now 3 weeks? Yeah, about 3 weeks ago, I told my wife I wanted to get a beach day. I needed a beach day. We usually go to the beach every August with the family. We have for 30 years gone to Outer Banks. And we rented a home there for a number of years. Then we bought a home for a number of years. And then we sold the home. Praise God. Look here, this shows you that God takes care of fools and babies, and I'm not a baby. I didn't know what I was doing, but something said sell the house in the summer of 2007. After we went in the summer of 2007, I said, this house is not big enough. We've been here for a few years. We should sell it. And we sold the house the summer of 2008 for a significant profit on what we bought the house for. Well, as you might remember, 2007, we sold it summer 2007. As you might remember, 2008, the bubble burst, the real estate bubble burst, and people lost homes. There were downsizings. There were foreclosures en masse. We didn't know what we were doing, but we got in and out before that crisis. So, and then we would go every year after that and continue to rent houses. And so we've been to that family vacation the beginning of August every year. And then the latter part of August, we would go to visit and hang out with friends in Martha's Vineyard. And we just had a great time. So I got beach most of August. Well, this year, because of the pandemic, was unable to go to the beach. Was able to go because my wife said she's not going anywhere, living in anybody's home, sleeping in anybody's bed. She's not doing it. No, only bed she said, I'm sleeping in my bed. So finally, about 3 weeks ago, I said, well, why don't we just go to some beach locally? Now, we haven't been to a local beach since we've been married, because we've been going to Outer Banks or the Martha's Vineyard. But we had a friend who has a beach home about less than an hour from our home. I called him. He said, oh, yeah, come on down. So went down, and it's on the Chesapeake Bay. So I just was excited. I was so excited, so excited, so excited. So I got that day and got my little swimming stuff and my beach stuff, and we were all excited. We got to the beach. I couldn't wait to get in the water. I had not been to this beach in over 40 years. The last time I was at this beach was when I was a kid with my mom. And so I got in the water, and I forgot something drastic about that water. Jellyfish. Oh, I forgot about the jellyfish, and I forgot how bad a jellyfish sting can feel. Well, I looked, I didn't see I didn't see any jellyfish when I first walked out. I walked around the water, nothing, no problem. I said, great. So I went back and got my snorkeling gear, my scuba gear, and I got my goggles on and my scuba program, and I got back in the water, and I'm just swimming. I wasn't in that water 3 minutes before they said, oh, Willie, we got a little gift for you for coming back here. You forgot this is our water. Those jellyfish went to work on me. They stung me, and then hit me right here. Now, you talk about something that hurt. I jumped out that water. I wasn't in it 3 minutes. Ran back up on the beach. He said, what in the world? I said, jellyfish. And they've stung me, and it's hurting. And then it got hot. I mean, it's because they're putting little tentacle, like little cactus tentacles into you. They inject them. Now, on my arm and the body, I had body fat. So, of course, that helped to shield it. But the head, there was nothing here but a little skin in my scalp. And goes right to the bone. There's no body fat. This it took about an hour for it to stop hurting, but this hurt for 2 days. It was searing hot. It was temperature. It had a temperature of its own. It was sweating right out of this. I mean, right here. It was painful. Whoo! Came home and I told Dee to look, see if she could see any of the little tentacles, and she tried to pull them out, but it hurt for 2 days. Well, that was a Thursday. That Friday morning, I spoke for my Uncle Bob's funeral. I think I mentioned to y'all Uncle Bob. Uncle Bob, what a guy. 102 years old. This was at his 100th birthday. He was lucid, full of himself, good in his mind, all was well. I talked to Uncle Bob on his birthday in February. 102 years old, and Uncle Bob said, Willie, good to hear from you, man. How you doing? We had a nice chat. He was just great. Well, Uncle Bob took ill about a month and a half ago, and he died. But what a great life. So the family asked me to eulogize him. Now, it was a big funeral, but it was outside. Most of it was outside. They had the body in the funeral home, which I went in and watched, saw, but it was all social distance. And then at the funeral site itself, it was quite distance. So I felt comfortable with that. The next day, though, I was asked to speak at another funeral that was coming up the next day, which was a young 20-year-old who had gotten killed, unfortunately, on a motorcycle accident. And his family said, really want an uplifting message, not just traditional message, want something. And we thought if there's anybody who can do that, it would be Dr. Willie Jolley. And they asked me to come. My wife didn't really want me to do it because she says, I don't know them, but I knew the family. My son didn't want me to do it. He said, oh, no, don't do it. I said, no, I've told them I need to do it because I know they're needing. And I got a sensitivity now because I remember what it was like when I lost my mother, my brother, and my father-in-law in 30 days in 2003. And the people who stepped up, who came to my help, who came to my aid, who supported me, who brought food, who did what they didn't have to do to just bless me and help me. And I'm always sensitive to people who are hurting through those moments and through those times. So I said I would do it in spite of my son and my wife not wanting me to do it. And so it was at a funeral home in Baltimore, and it was packed out. Packed out. There must have been 200 people. There were 3 rooms. The first big room was packed out, people shoulder to shoulder in a pandemic. Now, everybody had to have on masks, but it still was tight. So I spoke, and I pulled my mask down when I went to speak. Now, I was probably 15 feet from the closest person, but I pulled my mask down. And then when we went to afterwards, when we went to the graveside, I said some words there, and I had to pull my mask down so people could hear me. That was a Saturday. Sunday came along. Monday came along. Monday night, I started having a headache. Tuesday, had a headache. Took 2 Advil. Wednesday, had a headache. Took 2 more Advil. I never get headaches. Thursday, got a headache. Friday. But I never had a temperature. And then Saturday, I started getting some discomfort in my stomach and gurgling. So, of course, I got to look online and see what the symptoms are for coronavirus. Because I've been in this open program where it was inside program where there were a lot of people, many of them young people. And what did the symptoms say? Headache, body ache, gastric issues. And sometimes you have no symptoms. Yeah, asymptomatic, but you got it. So I had told my wife when I came back Saturday, you know what? I concur with you that maybe we need to do social distance here in the house for the next 2 weeks. That's quarantine. So she had already made up her mind. She was sleeping in a different room, and she wear a mask around the house, and we social distance. And we did that for 2 weeks. And after a few days of me having some of these symptoms, I was pretty confident that I probably had picked it up. But I never said a word to anybody. Even when I was having these feelings of distress, a little pain in my body, a little pain in my head, these headaches, this gastric, I wouldn't say a word about it to anybody because I wasn't sure. And I've learned some valuable lessons about faith. So we went and got our test a few days after the day after I started having headaches. We went and got our test, got our COVID test. They said it'll be 5 to 7 days. But every day I did the same thing. I still exercise, I go for a bike ride. And during the bike ride, I'd stop in Rock Creek Park, sit on a bench, and I read my scriptures. I read Psalm 91. I'll tell you about that in a minute. I read and quoted and memorized the 23rd Psalm. I read and memorized the 34th Psalm. And I kept speaking good health. Good health. And expect the best, prepare for the worst, and celebrate it all. Expect the best. I'm expecting that I'll be healthy. Prepare for the worst, that it is an infection, that I do have it. What do I do now? Because I am not going to die. I'm not dying. Not from this, no. I'm celebrated. I kept saying that, but every day I got more and more signs that I had the coronavirus. Well, folks, I would wake up in the middle of the night and say, okay, what are you going to do now? Now that this is what it is, what you going to do now? And I started making notes. And I made some notes. I'm going to share them with you. What I recommend people do to use your faith to save your life. Well, on this week, I got the results. The results of your SARS-CoV-2 is negative. Whoo! And it was at that moment I said, okay, is it negative because I never got it, even though I had these symptoms? Or is it negative because God moved? God said, I'm moving on this. So here's some of the things that I did that I want to talk about. I want you to utilize and maximize the power of your prayer. Utilize and maximize the power of your prayer. Utilize. Prayer works. So I prayed every day. And I said, God, keep me healthy. Keep me healthy. Now, I had the plan, though. After I prayed, I had a plan that if this had come back positive, then I would maximize my prayer. What does that mean? Once I knew for sure, I wasn't going to say it till I knew for sure and got the definitive response. I wasn't going to jump past God and say, oh, I got it. I know I got it. I know I got it. No, not till I get the test. I'm going to let God be God and do something. Let him move. But if I had gotten it back, then I was going to maximize it. What does that mean? That means that the prayers of the righteous availeth much. I was going to call everybody I knew who prayed, who knows how to pray. I was going to call my pastor. I was going to call my prayer partner. I was going to call everybody I know who pray and say, look, here's the situation. I need you to go to prayer. Why is that? Because I've had so many people over the years who've had an illness, had a sickness, had a situation, and they wanted to keep it to themselves because they felt that they were ashamed of it. They want to keep it private or whatever. Look here, that's a mistake. When you are in the fight for your life, you got to call on the saints to pray for you. Don't worry about it, then some of them are going to talk about it. Don't worry about that. You want the prayers of the righteous. It says in the word, the prayers of the righteous avail as much. You are in a fight for your life, in a battle for your life. You got to make a point to pray. And then after you pray, call on people who can get a prayer through, who can get it up past the ceiling, all the way up, and let them bombard heaven on your account. I think about my friend Keith Harrell, the great speaker and author, wrote the book, Attitude is Everything, right here on my bookshelf. Keith Harrell, he called me, it's been now, we're 10 years ago now, because we were celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary. And he called me and he said, hey, I need you to replace me on a couple of speeches. Now, he was the hottest motivational speaker in the corporate market because he talked about attitude is everything. I need you to replace me in a couple markets because my back is hurting and I need some, I can't work for a few weeks. I need a break. I said, okay. And I did a number of events for him. Not once did he tell me the extent of his illness. A few months later, I'm on the golf course one day and the phone rings. It's Les Brown. He said, just want to let you know Keith Harrell died. What? He had He had cancer of the back and his spine. He never told me. I would have prayed for him. I've had more people over the years who I wish I'd known to pray for them, because I know the prayers of the righteous avail much. So first, utilize and maximize the power of prayer. Number 2, proclaim God's promises. Now, that's what I did through this. I told you Psalm 91. Psalm 91. That's one of the ones I want to encourage you to read every day. I want you to read it every day. And Psalm 91 is a powerful, powerful verse about what we're going through right now. Okay, here's the message. Here's the verse. It says, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and he is my fortress. My God, in him I will trust. Surely he will deliver me from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover me with his feathers, and under his wings I shall take refuge. His truth shall be my shield and buckler. I shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at my side, and 10,000 at my right hand, but it shall not come near me. Only with my eyes shall I look and see the reward of the wicked, because I have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, my dwelling place. No evil shall befall me, nor shall any plague come near my dwelling. For he has given his angels charge over me to keep me in all my ways. In their hands they shall bear me up, lest I dash my foot against a stone. I shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent I shall trample underfoot, because I have set my love upon him, and therefore he will deliver me. He will set me on high, because I have known his name. I shall call upon him, and he will answer me. He will be with me in trouble. He will deliver me and honor me. With long life, he will satisfy me and show me his salvation. Now, in the Bible, it actually talks about the verb tense. You have to put your name in there. I read that every day on that bench while I was riding my bike. I read it every day. Then I thought about the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd. And I remembered it. I memorized it. I've known it. I've read it. My father, that was his favorite verse. But I would always read it. I didn't remember it. But the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He leads me. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me upon the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Let me tell you, and the more you know what it is, but look here, read it, learn it, get it in your spirit. Then I read the 34th Psalm. I won't go over all of them because we got time limits, but I will bless the Lord at all times. His name shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make his boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear of it, be proud. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt his name together. And so I kept proclaiming God's promises. He said he would do it. He said, I will supply your needs. I will bless you. I will keep you. And then why I did not speak it, I didn't speak it to my wife, I didn't speak it to anybody, that I had this thought that I had it, because once you speak it, you own it. Come on. You got to speak good in your life. Speak good in your family. Speak good in your finance. Speak good in your health. Speak good in every part of your life. Once you speak it, you own it. You say you're poor, you're going to be poor. You say you're broke, you're going to be broke. You say your children are bad, they're going to be terrible. You got to speak good into your marriage, good into your children. Even if you have to correct them by speaking good into them, like rather than saying you're stupid or dumb, you say, I'm disappointed that someone so good, so brilliant, and as bright as you would make that choice. That way you corrected them without condemning them. So, and then prepare. So you got to utilize and maximize the power of prayer, proclaim God's word, speak only good in your life, and then prepare for war. This is going to be a war to be able to win in these challenging times with your health, I want to encourage everybody to go to jollygoodnews.org, jollygoodnews.org, and listen to the interview I did with cancer thrivers and survivors, the people who had cancer, stage 4. I had 2 of them who had stage 4 cancer. One had pancreatic and one had throat cancer, and how they talked about they went to war against the cancer, not just the medicines and the things that the doctors gave them, but how they changed their conversations, how they changed their thinking, how they changed their attitude, and how it beat cancer. You can beat this coronavirus. You can beat cancer. Remember, coronavirus. And one last thing I did is I focused on victory. So I went and looked up online people who had beat it and how they beat it, how they beat coronavirus. I wanted to know, and I learned that 97% of the people who are infected survive. 3% die. So I want to get to the 97%. That's the majority. And then one more thing before I let you go, because our time is up. Whew, this is good though. I'm telling you, you got to be a gladiator. My friend, Reverend Dr. Lamar McLean, who has been fighting cancer, but he has been recovering from it. He said when he got the diagnosis, he said, okay, this is a gladiator fight. You know, in the gladiator, ancient Rome, that they put 2 people in the ring, in the arena, and one had to fight the other one to the death. It was not a fight to, oh, I knock you down and you count to 10. This is to the death. So when you're in this kind of fight, it's got to be a gladiator fight. It's me against that wants to kill me. Me against coronavirus. Me against cancer. Whatever you're fighting, is you against whatever it is, and you got to win. They have to die. That thing has to die. And I want you to get a gladiator mindset. So, victory was my only option. And that's what I want you to have. Use this. It's good news for this time. And I wanted to share this personal testimony that I'm negative. But that negative is a positive. Because now I can share with others. I don't know. I will not know till I get to heaven. And I hope that's not going to be no time soon, because I want to do a lot of work here. I won't know till I get there. God says, you know what? You actually did have it. But your faith saved your life. That's all I want to say to all of you, is that your faith can save your life. Keep your faith, keep going, keep growing. Don't give up, keep the fight, and have faith. Use these principles. 1, let's go through them real quick again. Utilize and maximize the power of your prayer. And then proclaim God's promises. Don't speak what you don't want in your life. Prepare for war. Do not panic. Be a gladiator and know that victory is your only option. God bless you. Thank you for your time. Share this with Lottie, Dottie, and everybody, because we want to save people who are struggling and let them know that your faith can save your life. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, special edition of Jolley Good News Report. Join me next Saturday morning, 10 a.m. for another edition. Have a great day. God bless you. Bye-bye.